reminding me the name as well.
Masakida and Tijani Umar.
Tijani Umar,
Yeah.
who are vying to become the president of Nigerian basketball. It's a shame, really, with all the talent, and I keep saying it, with all the talent we have, with all the talent we have, we don't have a basketball league in this country. But that's a story for another day. So we'll be looking at that. We'll also be looking at Nigerian players in the NBA. How is this going? How is this season going to be for them? Is it already looking like a big season? As I get your take on what you've made of some of the games so far in the NBA, and especially the very controversial issue around vaccination. Now, Kyrie Irving, the Brooklyn Nets player, well, he's a man who is dividing the basketball fans out there in the US. I will be asking you where you stand. He does not want to get the COVID-19 vaccination, and with that, it means, in fact, we're even thinking he was going to be able to play away games, but now it looks like
Nothing.
the team has just put him on ice. So we're going to be hearing from him. In case you missed him, he was talking a week ago on his social media handle, and he was saying something like, "It's my body. I make the decision. I've been through a lot this last 1 year, and I should be able to make decision on my body and on my health." So we'll talk about all of that. And the little issue with LeBron James, just a little leg sore injury. It's a scare, but it looks like it's okay for him to continue. We'll ask you what are you expecting from Nigerian players in the NBA. We've got players like, of course, Giannis, even though he's Greek. We've got other popular names like Jordan Nwora, Precious Achiuwa, and with the Toronto Raptors, and from Nduka Azubike, who is the namesake of Azubike here. Josh Okogie with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and lots more there. Gabe Vincent with the Miami Heat. All of those players who played for Nigeria. Most of these names also participated at the Olympic Games. So we'll be talking about them. What do you expect from Nigerian players in the NBA this season? You can join the conversation live. We're streaming live on Facebook, NigeriaInfo.fm, NigeriaInfo.fm. Nigeria Info 993. You can join us and not just listen to us, watch us live on our world-class studios here of Nigeria Info on WhatsApp 08095975805. So let's kick off with controversy, and let's dig it up where it lies. The issue surrounding Kyrie Irving. Well, a group of protesters gathered outside the Barclays Center, waving flags and signs while chanting "No vaccine mandate, stand with Kyrie." First off, for those who are new to this story, can you just give a wrap of how the story developed?
Okay, so we all started with the games played before the season started. There are always games like that with the NBA teams, just like we have preseasons in football, but this time around they play against themselves in the NBA. So we had that beautiful one, and before then there were already cases of you don't have vaccine, you will not play in basketball in the NBA. And at the point it went on to become in New York, you cannot play if you're not being vaccinated. So at the point it was Brooklyn Nets already talking about, or the news already saying, out of the 82 games, this man will be playing 41 games. That means he'll be playing just away games, because once you're in New York, and Brooklyn Nets is actually in New York, Brooklyn is in New York, you cannot play games without being vaccinated. There were a couple of other players, most notably is the man we're talking about right now, Kyrie Irving. We also had the man for Golden State Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, who says because of his faith, he's not ready to take that vaccine because there's a lot of suspicion. But in the end, he just went on to do what he had to do, take the vaccine so he could start playing for the team, the Golden State Warriors. But for that man, Kyrie Irving, he stood his ground. He's had too many injuries. He says he's been controversial in the last couple of months, or maybe at least a year currently. There have been issues before now. He had issues with the team. Yeah, they didn't make noise about it, but this is a very noisy one that's got to do with his vaccination. And I'm surprised at what the fans are doing at this point, putting this basketball player over what the NBA is trying to do as far as I'm playing basketball is concerned. I won't be vaccinated. It's my body, like he said, and you just mentioned that. The protest went to a point that it turned ugly already. We're seeing fans going really hard and saying that this man should be allowed to play basketball, whether he's vaccinated or not. But at this point, we didn't see Kyrie Irving at any point in time. Barclays Center, that's the home of the Brooklyn Nets, was completely shut down because they didn't want it to escalate beyond that level. They went straight to the stadium, say, you guys must allow this man to play basketball. And with what we are seeing, Chidi, I think something might be happening because of this man. And this is how a revolution starts. This is how stands are taken. Just the way we have in Nigeria, where you see cases like NSAS, that's the closest I can relate with. Yeah, you might not have such freedom in Nigeria here to do as much as these guys have done, but they went all the way to make sure that this man will play basketball. Maybe he's not just the only one who has not been vaccinated, but the most popular of them. You know how big names work. When you're the big name and you're the figure, that's what you get to see, and that's what Kyrie Irving is facing at this point in time. So the news is that he might be switching teams with that man Ben Simmons, who's also made the news. It's just some very light rumors, but that, by December 15, we'll be having a clear picture of what will be happening. Remember, Ben Simmons was everywhere in the news, not for vaccination, but for the case that he didn't want to play with the Philadelphia 76ers again. He wanted to move. He said he was not going to play, but by the point close to the start of the season, they said he was ready to play. He couldn't play the first game. We've not seen him play any good basketball this season, and there must be a likelihood of Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers swapping players in Ben Simmons and that man in Kyrie Irving, and both of them actually are point guards, and that's the beauty of this particular basketball game. We don't want to see that happen, but that's what basketball is about at this point in time. The two great guys for the team, Kevin Durant and his teammates, James Harden, have not been able to get the right results. They've just gotten one win out of 3. And that's not what you have with the Brooklyn Nets, who were all star-studded when the season started last season, and even up until this point in time. So, Chidi, Kyrie Irving is the man making the headlines. And if you ask me, Chidi, I'm so happy. I'm seeing the fans come out really en masse to support a player who has taken his stand and say, this is my body, this is my health. You don't tell me what to do. You don't force me to do it. But the government has a power over everything. The NBA is bigger than anybody. But I like what the fans are doing, letting them understand that it's not every time you put out decisions that you allow it to go your way. There are things you have to allow people enjoy at some point in time, and that's what Kyrie Irving is trying to pass across right there. Don't force me to do what I don't want to do. All
right. I'd like to get your thoughts, though. Join us on WhatsApp 08095975805 and tell us what you make of the decision. Now, if you have to walk in New York, you need to get vaccinated, and this also cuts across the sporting ecosystem in that city. And for Kyrie Irving, well, he says he doesn't want to get vaccinated. What do you think? Should this continue, or should people be allowed to make decisions relating to their bodies? I've got Irabo Koso on the line. Irabo, great to have you on court side tonight.
Hi, Chidiberry. Great to be here always, man.
Fantastic, Rabo.
Good evening to you, Rabo.
Azu, how are you now?
Rabo is another basketballer, and Rabo is I've seen Rabo play a few times. In fact, Rabo was in for the NBA draft at some point, but injuries.
Rabo, that's a long time ago.
Now, I know, Rabo, but
that was like 50 years back.
It needed to be said. It needed to be said, and Rabo, before I bring you on the whole Kyrie Irving issue and the protests out there for the games, the Brooklyn Nets game this weekend, let's look at some of the results. Houston Rockets lost at home to Boston Celtics, 97-107. New York Knicks against Orlando Magic, 104-110 in favor of the Magic. Oklahoma City Thunder, 103-76ers, 115. The Sacramento Kings, 107 to Golden State Warriors, 119. And LA Lakers doing it against the Memphis Grizzlies as expected, 121-118. Before I talk to you about what you make of this season so far, what do you make of the protest and the seeming divisive issue of vaccination, especially when it has to do with Kyrie Irving?
Well, they say freedom of speech is good, but we also have to recognize that it has consequences. And whenever you're doing, business, especially in America, and that business is a multi-billion-dollar business, there are a lot of factors that go into play. There are a lot of jobs at stake. There are a lot of families at stake. So one person can't, influence the workings of that particular conglomerate. So right now, Kyrie Irving is choosing not to take the vaccine, which I really don't understand why he is doing that. Whether he is fighting for the people who have lost their jobs because they were not able to, get vaccinated or chose not to be vaccinated, or he is choosing it as a personal reason. I'm really not clear on that. But regardless, if he's choosing not to do it, then he has to face the consequences of not being paid. Now he's not even going to be given an extension. I don't think he's ever going to be poor in his life, but in my own opinion, I would think, get vaccinated, since it's been scientifically proven, at least almost how many millions of people have taken it. So get vaccinated, get the money, use the money to help those people who are out of the job that you claim that you are helping. That's just a simple thing, because you have an entire team that was put together because of you. You brought Kevin Durant to come. James Harden joined both of you guys. Now you are spoiling the chemistry as a result.
Interesting stuff. Well, so obviously, if he doesn't want to, stick with the rules, then he has to bear the consequences, right?
Yes, he has to bear the consequences.
What do you make of the divide of the conversation that says that, since it's your body, you should have a decision to determine if you want the vaccine or not?
Yeah, it's your body. You should decide if you want it or not. It's the same way. It's my organization. Speaking about the NBA now, exactly. For example, it's our organization. It's our association. This is what we are instituting. These are the rules we are saying you must follow. And what's at stake is a $33 million a year salary for you. It's up to you to make the decision. The same way he is making his decision, he should also respect the NBA too for making their own decision. That's how I see it.
All right, Errol, let's look at the season so far. We're seeing some really interesting results coming through. Just like the games in the early hours of this morning on Sunday out in the US. Some really good result. The Knicks losing at home. Let's talk about the NBA champions and how they're going to perform this season. Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's got big Nigerian roots. How do you think they're going to do this season?
I think, it's their season to lose, really. The Milwaukee Bucks, they're the champions, well-deserved. The Eastern Conference is almost as stacked as the Western Conference, but the Milwaukee
for the first time in a long time, right?
What do you say?
I said for the first time in a long time,
we're
having the Eastern Conference almost
you understand? Like, it was the East that was stacked back in the day when Jordan was playing.
Yeah.
So, and even a few years after, but now the West is stacked, and now the East is meeting up. Teams like Atlanta Hawks, they're not playing. The Philadelphia 76ers, they are there. Chicago Bulls, who are number one right now in the NBA with 3-0 record, they're also there. They're exciting, fun team. They have DeRozan and Co. But back to the Milwaukee Bucks. You have Giannis, you have Chris Middleton, you have a few trades that they made. Although they have some injury woes, still not a bad thing. You cannot take away their championship. Right now, Giannis is not fazed by all that. He has celebrated. It's time for business. If you see the first game he played, he was 36 points, 14 rebounds, thereabout, and 7 assists. Yeah. Like 2 blocks and 1 steal. Like, it was all over the charts. So, but right now, it's just a few games in. It's just like a week into the NBA, even not up to a week. So we will just, assess things maybe after like 12 games. Let's see how people fare. Because right now, if you look at the standings, the Brooklyn Nets are number 10 in the East. Mm-hmm. You cannot imagine such a thing. Mm-hmm. So you understand, with those kinds of players. So right now, it's an open field. Golden State Warriors are 3-0. It's an open field. I'm not really going to start guessing yet, because everybody now just came off preseason. They're trying to feel themselves out now in the regular season. So let's see how it goes. I'm just looking forward to all the highlights, all the dunks, all the three-pointers, all the records being broken. Like Carmelo Anthony is now the number 9th all-time in scoring. Having debates with my man Azu, Daniel Chuma Onoli, talking about our best 5 players, because we're not agreeing with the list. So that's what I'm about right now. Then 10, 15 games in, we'll see who is who. Understanding.
Interesting. Well, it's always a pleasure having and getting your perspective, Irabo. I think we might get back to you, but let's just wrap up the conversation with you, because we've got to go on the break very quickly.
Okay.
And let's look at Nigerian players who are playing out there in the NBA. I don't know if you're going to mention Giannis in the mix. You should. I think he is legitimately Nigerian. He's got dual citizenship. So what's your expectation? What are you looking forward to as far as the Nigerian contingent in the NBA is concerned?
This is my take. I want those in power to watch every Nigerian that is doing great abroad, whether it's the NBA, the MLS, NFL and whatever, to show that we have the talent. It is not impossible. All we need is infrastructure and a system in place that is functional. and funding to make all these things happen. Look at the NCAA; they take players from there into the NBA. Now you have all these Nigerian players playing in the league like the NBA, and Jordan Nwora is a champion.
That's the man I was going to talk about.
Jordan Nwora is a champion. Jordan Nwora that plays for Nigeria, a young buck, is a champion. Plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. You have Hakeem Olajuwon, who is an Olympic champion and an NBA champion and a Finals MVP and an MVP. Hakeem is a big name in the NBA. He's part of the 75 all-time greats of the NBA.
For
So
sure.
it is not impossible for us to make it happen. I am happy that at least one NBA team has a Nigerian inside it. You have Miami Heat. They don't pack. Be like
about 3 or 4.
Miami Heat be like Baltimore for New York, where Nigeria just full inside.
You understand?
You understand? Be like Peckham for UK. Like Nigeria just yakpa for Miami Heat. Like white or black or mixed or everything we are there. You understand? So, and I'm happy that it's like that. I'm happy that the MVP, the star right now in the NBA, is Giannis Antetokounmpo, who also has a movie coming out soon with Disney for his life and times, growing up and how it was in Greece.
I went on to
things are looking up. Things are looking up, and I'm happy. Like it brings joy to my heart, really. Like sometimes I get teary-eyed. I don't mean to be dramatic, but I get teary-eyed when I see them call certain people's names. Whenever they are doing the play-by-play call, or when it's the NBA draft, and you're hearing that you have 15 Nigerians who are vying for the draft. Come on, it's glorious, but it will be so great if we can translate that to here.
National
if we can
team,
have
right?
a league and system in place.
That would be wonderful, and I'm sure Azubike too, is of that opinion.
Big
Put
time.
as Oga Patapata me, I will be too icy. Put Daniel Chukuma.
No sets me up.
It's such an irony that with Nigerians doing incredibly well abroad, and I won't just pity to the NBA. We know there are Nigerians playing in Israel and in Europe, other parts of Europe. Nigerians doing so well, and then it doesn't translate to back home. Poor administration has really.
This thing you said, let me give you perspective. See Nollywood, for example. See how things are pushed. No, let me even use Afrobeat. See how Afrobeat has penetrated the world stage now, and people are looking to Afrobeat. If maybe the ground is viable enough and people are seeing that the system that is in place is productive, just at least productive, these guys that are abroad will come. People like Masai Ujiri would come in the thousands. They will come in droves.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Like, they would be present. Hakeem Olajuwon doesn't have anything that he's doing in MBBF. Why? The man with the best post move ever. Person where Kobe Bryant they learn from. He doesn't have roots in Nigeria. Nobody wants to come because what are they coming to? Where do they even want to play? Do we have an indoor sports hall that we can play basketball where your shoe won't spoil? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Interesting.
I mean, it won't take anything for when Giannis won, he went to Greece. He went to the Parthenon. He took the trophy there. He didn't come to Nigeria. What do you want to do?
No surprises.
You have to hold your thought. And I don't want to talk about Nigerian problems tonight. Trust me. I just want to look at because
but you can't run away from that.
You can't run away from it. But we keep talking about, and we will keep talking about it. But we've got to take that break now before we continue talking about it and about Nigerian players in the NBA. Irabo, thank you for stopping by. Absolutely appreciate. That's Irabo Okosu, our basketball expert. He's also got a show here on Nigeria Info, the movie road show every Friday. So let's take a break here on Nigeria Info. When we come back, Azubike will be reading your thoughts on Facebook. We are streaming live on Nigeria Info 99.3 on Facebook, and we're also taking your thoughts on WhatsApp 08095975805. The big question is for Kyrie Irving, who was refused to take the COVID-19 vaccination, or he's also been refused to play, to participating in any game in the NBA by his team, the Brooklyn Nets. If you were in his shoes, it must be, such a tough one paying for your decision. All of that, we'll come back. This is Courtside right here on Nigeria Info. We'll come back, we'll take your calls, and we'll read the messages on the show. Stick around.
high-profile interviews.
Me, this is my life. I get to do whatever I want with this. This is one body that I get here, one God body that I get here. And you telling me what to do with my body, and it has nothing to do with the organization. I'm gonna put that out there. It has nothing to do with the Nets. It has nothing to do with my teammates. This has everything to do with what's going on in our world. And I'm being grouped in to something that's bigger than just a game of basketball. And you got that fandom, which is like a religion to people out here. Basketball is like a religion. Entertainment is like a religion to people. They get so caught up emotionally. It's just like, yo, effing get vaccinated or just leave. We angry at what you're doing, man. And it's just like, nah, that's like, what are you talking about? I'm a human being. I have emotions. I have feelings. I have thoughts, things that I keep to myself, things that I share. But I'm staying grounded in what I believe in.
Kyrie Irving there with, just talking about his decision not to get vaccinated, and then he is bearing, of course, all the big consequences of that. Welcome back to Courtside. It's our final dash on Courtside tonight. Apologies for that long break, but Azubike Onicha is still very much here and still very much excited. As let's wrap up. We've got 2 minutes on Courtside. Tell me, Nigerian players who we're looking forward to expect this season in the NBA. Before you talk about that, there's a breaking news in Nigerian basketball as far as the elections are concerned.
There's nothing bigger than this, Chidi. The election has been cancelled.
Cancelled or rescheduled?
Has been suspended. Yes, actually been cancelled. When I say cancelled, I mean cancelled from being
the
held.
The initial date has been cancelled. Then we have
30th was the initial date. 30th starts this weekend. 30th of October 2021. The Nigerian Basketball Federation. Breaking news has his election originally scheduled for that date in Benin City, Edo State, being suspended indefinitely, and that's the English we always get to use when things like this happen.
So the election that was supposed to settle the issue in Nigerian basketball has been suspended.
Yeah.
So we're still back to where we are. If there was any glimmer of hope. We're way back to to where we are.
I don't think there was hope on Chidi at any point in time. It doesn't look like basketball wants to move in the right direction, and it's really, really painful. We saw the league itself, just something they quickly cooked up, and teams played against each other so that they could have a team to represent Nigeria for BAL. But right now, there is no league conclusion. There is no election to show. And it's clearly showing that there is unseriousness in the camp of the Nigerian Basketball Federation.
All right. Let's quickly, from your perspective, give me 2 names, 2 Nigerian players we should be looking forward to this season, in the NBA this term. Who are those 2 Nigerian players who you think we should be focusing on?
Okay, number one, I have to pick one who plays currently for Nigeria and has always done well. It has to be none other than Jordan Nwora, the son of the former coach of the Nigerian team, Alex Nwora. Sensational. He scored points, double figures from the preseason games. He's been the best player for the team. Came into the league and is scoring double figures already and also getting rebounds. And number 2, he has to be his teammate, Giannis. That's the best player currently in the NBA at this point in time. And that's how much talent Nigeria can have. And it's a lot of shame that it's not showing in our league. But that's what the NBA holds at this point. These are the 2 greatest players for me. I'm looking forward to seeing at the end of the season come out tops. Maybe as the best and one of the best players in the league, and also making it to the All-Star as usual.
I've got something for Precious Achiowa. I saw him perform for Nigeria, and of course, he's doing great for Toronto Raptors. But let's see if we can take a few calls. 2-3 calls, 0700993 Big breaking news tonight here on Courtside. The MBBF election slated for the 30th of this month has been suspended. And tell us what you make of Kyrie Irving's decision. Well, not to get vaccinated. There was a protest. There was a protest this weekend out there during his team's game, and that protest kind of marred the game against the game for the Brooklyn Nets. So let's take 2 or 3 calls. The female line is 014-657-190. Hello. Not ready for us. We've got games lined up even as we prepare to leave the studio. We've got games lined up later tonight in the early hours of Tuesday morning. And just to share some of those fixtures with you, we've got Milwaukee Bucks against the Indiana Pacers, which is something many people are looking forward to.
That's a top game.
Yeah, let's see if we can swing in one or two calls. Hello.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, Chidebere.
Good evening to you. Quickly Friday, welcome.
Yeah. For me, see, where are we going from here? Why is it that the International Basketball Association, they are not behaving like FIFA when government is interfering, they will ban the FA, ban the what is happening with our basketball?
That's what you're seeing currently, Chim. Friday. We'll just wait to see what happens at the end of the day as usual. Keep your fingers crossed.
All right. Not a very happy one, really. Just some more of the games for you. Atlanta Hawks against the Detroit Pistons. Brooklyn Nets against the Washington Wizards as a good one.
Exactly.
Toronto Raptors, Achua might be playing. Precious against Chicago Bulls. New Orleans Pelicans have to travel to play the Timberwolves. And we've got Denver Nuggets against Cleveland Cavaliers. LA Clippers against Portland Trail Blazers. And we'll be having Charlotte Hornets against Boston Celtics. Let's squeeze in two calls and then we say our buys on courtside tonight. Hello? Not ready for us. Let's try the other line. Hello? Hello? All right, no one home. Some of your thoughts pouring in on WhatsApp. This one says, Olumide Oyedeji is also a good basketballer trying to develop the game in Nigeria, but he's been schemed out of the election. Ahmed from Aja sending that one. Hi guys, as for Kyrie, no player is bigger than the league. I don't see New York or San Francisco municipalities changing their rules for a single player. Also, James Harden is not really enjoying the new NBA rule on foul. Jordan Wara is a guy to watch out for. Tolani from Egbeda. Looks like is a consensus on who to watch. Hello, Faji. It's Kyrie's body, but it's also NBA's league. The right of his body should not supersede the right of the NBA. Meanwhile, this is Kyrie, who apparently does not have a free space of skin. All his body is full of... All right, thank you. Thank you for all of that. Azu, it's been a pleasure having you on courtside.
Always a pleasure
tonight.
To be here, Chi.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, Chimanoli will be back next week, Monday. I don't think he'll be back next week Monday, but I'll be back next week Monday with courtside, okay? Because he'll be taking his leave pretty soon.
Oh, really?
So
he started already.
Yeah, he deserves a good rest. This part of the show is brought to you by our friends at Bet Bonanza. I'll be calling our friend from the phone lines to just have a conversation. If you put your bets in the right places at the weekend, well, in that big game between Manchester United and Liverpool, as I'm sure you were watching that game, was a big shocker for many.
As usual in October.
It was a reality check for many Manchester United fans who, maybe had a bit some funny ideas ahead of that game, but it didn't quite turn out the way they expected to. Mohamed Salah was there destroying Manchester United.
Firmino, delightful shotter, and Salah, and here comes Naby Keita. Liverpool have three. It's Mo. Mo making merry at the Stretford end. Liverpool, beyond their wildest, happiest fantasy, are ripping up United on their own turf.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all